Beautiful day out there, man. God dang, the sun actually came out today. That was a good thing. But I FaceTimed with my wife right before practice today, and she works at the draft horse rescue place up in De Pere. She goes up there about 4:30 in the morning. And I looked at her on the FaceTime and said, "You all right?" She's just like, "It was pretty cold out there getting them horses out today." And so I was worried about getting outside for the walk over, but being inside was a pleasant surprise today. Okay, take any questions you may have about what's getting ready to happen.
None of us are complaining about being inside today.
Oh, sure.
What's the challenge with their special teams? I know they got different returners, so does that impact anything at all from your perspective?
Well, he's really only got, I think, one game for us on film, to look at. And but it's kind of like going into last week's game, somebody's going to be back there. You think they're going to be capable. He's got great speed. He played in Cleveland a little bit, so we have some film on him playing there. But I think the biggest challenge for us is, Jay Harbaugh's new. It's his first time in the NFL. He's been in college for a long time, so we've gone back through a bunch of college tape to see some of the things that he's done. And he's got a good group. There's always been a really good culture there in Seattle and special teams, the way they play. They've got a heck of a kicker. The punter's really a good player. I can remember working him out at Texas coming out. He does a lot of different things with the ball. He can place it on the boundary and go across the field. He gets the ball out of his hand quickly. And they have a lot of guys playing at a high level right now. I know they've had some blunders, but we all have. That's part of the kicking game. But they've also hit a kickoff return for a touch and have blocked a punt and blocked a field goal and some of those things. So going up there in that noise at night, it'll be a great atmosphere for football, and it'll be a good challenge for us. A little exciting for me is I get to be on the same field as DK Metcalf. I coached his dad at Ole Miss. Terrence played tackle for us at Ole Miss the whole time I was there. So this will be one of those father-son deals for me. Tells him getting older by the game.
Does he know you?
No, I don't think he knows me. I said hello to him in the preseason game. You said, "I coach your dad and I know your mom." And he said, "I tell my dad you said hello." I said, "Be good." But I keep up with Terrence. So Terrence is in coaching right now.
Does that happen to you, Rich, as far as of having a son?
I was talking to Sarah. That's the second time. Like I had Kelly's kid last year, right? I had Brian Kelly's kid here for a little bit last year. So that's the second time. And you start to see some of the guys playing in college and hope them around long enough to let it happen a bunch.
What have you thought? I know you touched on a little bit with Dixon. He came in really big in 18. Just kind of the career he's put together for himself in Seattle. Just kind of the punter that he is.
Yeah, he's a tremendous talent. Again, and does a lot of different things with his kicks. And we can go back to the drop kick conversation we had a month or so ago. He's had a bunch of drop kick onsides that he's pretty good at. And the workout I went and did with him at Texas, it was like he couldn't go. I mean, we were going to go forever. He never got tired. He went from side to side. He was showing me all the different things he can do with it. So his NFL career has been really good. He's been a productive player. He's great in the red zone. He does a great job backed up. And again, where his ability to go from one side to the other can be, a little bit difficult for the return guys. You think you got to read on him. Next thing you know, he sends you all the way across the field. So I think he's been a tremendous NFL player, and I don't see him wearing out at all or wearing down at all. He's still playing at a high level.
Go over every possible scenario every week, but did the end of the Dallas game make any of your cut-ups this week, just as a reminder of what happens if...
Sure. Yeah, actually, we put the one that we had against the Jets in 22, we put it on the same cut-up, that it happened to us. Eric Wilson blocked it, and it came on our side of the line of scrimmage, and we had guys running over towards the ball. Their guy touched it first. Once that happens, obviously becomes a no-consequence play. But, those things are bang-bang plays, and it's difficult at times maybe get out of the way of the ball, But I remember Phillip Rivers used to tell me all the time, if you want the ball to bounce back to you, go to the gym, So you just have to be aware when those things happen. But a lot of those plays, they make our reel. Sometimes when we do it, unfortunately, they make our reel, But we're all trying to learn from all the mistakes that are made throughout the league, not only just ours.
Manis was saying the other day that you're still teaching them stuff. You've been with plenty of veteran kickers in this league. How much is there left to learn for these guys who have been in the league for over a decade?
I don't. That's a unique question. I think I'm learning a lot from him too. I think I've said it in here a bunch of times already since he's been here. He's very particular. Which has actually been really good, not only for our holder for Daniel, but for me, to know someone that knows exactly what he wants. That's easy for Daniel to get it done that way, and it's easy for me to be able to coach the other two guys to get it that way. So I think he's still getting himself in better physical condition. You know, he was out for a little bit. I think he's becoming a better teammate every day. You know, he's been and won a Super Bowl, so I think he has things to say in different ways to our players, his own style of leadership. So I'm really glad he's here, and I think on a daily basis, I'm still learning from him as well. So he kind of threw something at us today at our Gold Rush team that kind of made us pay attention a little bit. So it was good to have it. But again, I'm glad he's here. He's making us all better all the time, and I believe he's got a lot of football left to him.
Hey, Rich, going back to the Dallas play, does that make logical sense to you, the way the NFL rule is that, because it almost feels like you can end up getting penalized for blocking a kick, which is hard to do. Is there a logic to it that makes sense to you as a coordinator?
I would say yes, I understand, because there's that side of the line of scrimmage, right, and then there's our side of the line of scrimmage. So when you have a defining line like that, there is logic to it. There is a lot of sense to it in my mind, especially, you know, when you're teaching, or else you'd have it either be always live or it's always dead, right, if you didn't have that particular line. I mean, I can remember we benefit from it, you know, in Oakland when the guy downed the ball for the punt team, and now all of a sudden he touched it first, the punt team did. Now it's a no consequence play, and Dwayne Harris picks it up. Everybody else on the punt team celebrating, he goes 99 for a touchdown. So again, it's a real smart, you know, play on our side. And what it does, teaches you on the punt team is, hey guys, when that ball crosses the line of scrimmage, we touch it first, it's still a live ball. That's why we talk about pick it up, hand it to the official, things like that. So I think I do see the logic in a defining line of one side of the line of scrimmage compared to the other. So I do understand the rule, that rule. But yeah, I get that.
I was at that Dwayne Harris game.
Say it again?
I was at that Dwayne Harris game.
I didn't hear you.
I was at that Dwayne Harris game.
Oh, right.
You don't remember, but I covered the Raiders back in 2018, so.
I don't remember talking to the press every week into Raiders either.
You did?
Yeah.
Once back then.
Well, since one of your favorite parts of the job is my questions, I'm curious, having coached as long as you have, you've probably coached teams that were good on the road and ones that weren't so good. Matt's been really good on the road. This team has been good on the road. It looks like you might end up taking that path in the postseason. What do you think are the most critical things to being good as a road football team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's always consequence, right? What's mental toughness? Be your best regardless of consequences. And I think what Coach LaFleur has done a great job of since I've been here is, you know, we're going to have to get to the airport. We're going to have to get on a plane. We have to get on a bus. We have to stay in a hotel. We have to be on time for meetings. We have to get up. You have to have breakfast, pregame meal. You got to get on a bus. You got to go to the game, and you got to play. And it's 100 by 53, right? So I think that's kind of how Matt's portrayed everything, and I think our players have bought into it. I know I've bought into it. I know I appreciate the way he addresses it every week, is that we have to be our best regardless of the circumstance, right? Everybody wants to talk about the weather. Well, the weather's the same for both on game day. So it's an away game, we have to get on a plane. Well, okay, we have to get on a plane. Then we have to get on a bus, then you take the ride, and every bus driver says, we say, how long to the hotel? He says 20 minutes. It doesn't matter where we go, it's 20 minutes from the airport to the hotel. So what I think Coach has done a really good job of since I've been here with our team is putting guys in the mental preparation of, these are the circumstances this week, this is how we're going to handle it, let's go play our best football. And I think our team has bought into that since I've been here.
Will you get some return opportunities on kickoffs? I mean, they've given up a bunch of returns, but they didn't give up any against Arizona, so I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, you know, they had a tough day on both sides against the Jets. Now, they had some things go for them, some things go against them with the Jets, and still end up winning the game. And, you know, they end up cutting both of those return guys that they had in that particular game and gave up big play. But, you know, I expect the weather to be somewhat the same for both, but I think it'll give both teams an opportunity to return some kicks. We'll have to see how that goes. I remember being up there this time a while back, I think in Dallas, and this time of year, and you know, the weather's always a factor, the wind is always a factor, crowd noise is always a factor. But I'd like to think there's probably going to be some returns on both sides. So I can't really worry about what happened in that last game. They have had a bunch of returns, and they've had a bunch of kickoffs where they've had to cover some kicks too. So I think we'll see both in our game.